Hey there, everybody. Good morning. Meteorologist Travis Klineski. It is a Monday morning, shortly after 7 o'clock. An interesting day shaping up, coming off of a day yesterday where there was a cooler air mass, but it was muggy this morning. There is actually a warm front right about here. I'm roughly drawing it in with my little red line tool here, so this isn't real scientific by any means. But what does this mean? Well, it is very humid actually ahead of it. And it's actually warmer ahead of the front than it is behind the front. Usually the warm air is on the other side of the front. Well, that'll change later today when we get some daylight and we'll start to heat things up a bit. But the air is drier right here, which has allowed for temperatures to cool off. But the winds are going to shift out of the south-southwest as that drier air shifts in as the day goes on here. So let's go in and we're going to take a look at things throughout the day today as that warm front is going to be lifting to the northeast. Foggy conditions in the muggy air out ahead of that front this morning. Very foggy. The fog will gradually burn off. The humidity will push to the east, except for right here. You see that line right there? Southeasterly winds. It will stay very muggy in eastern Nebraska, about Highway 77 eastward. Drier air to the west as it'll be more of a breezy south-southwesterly wind. Tonight, not very cool tonight, but it won't be as muggy tonight other than far eastern areas. Again, eastern areas, the fog could redevelop it where it's still going to be muggy, but the rest of us, skies will remain clear. Tomorrow, another hot day out there with a south-southwest wind, and again, there's the sharp divide right here. Muggy conditions over eastern Nebraska while the rest of us will be drier with a breezy southwesterly wind. Tomorrow night, a little bit of an increase in clouds, becoming partly to mostly cloudy across southern Nebraska and northern Kansas. So like I said, kind of a complicated forecast. First off, let's go to the excessive heat warnings, advisory, all that stuff, okay? Excessive heat warning. Heat index values of 105 or higher are going to be possible the next 3 days. Monday afternoon all the way through Wednesday evening at 10 o'clock. All these pink shaded areas under that excessive heat warning. Now, I'll tell you right now, the worst of it is going to be for folks in eastern Nebraska. We may see heat index values exceed 115. I don't think they'll be that bad here in central Nebraska, although they could get above 105 at times. Now, until noon today, these counties right here are under a heat advisory, which will eventually be replaced by the heat warning, excessive heat warning. But other areas west of that are under a heat advisory starting at noon today, continuing until 10 o'clock Wednesday, where the heat index value could get up to around 100 to 105 during the afternoons and early evenings. So I'm going to show you the dew points first. Now, again, it's very muggy this morning in central Nebraska and eastern Nebraska. It's a little muggy. The worst of it is right around the Tri-Cities right now, but look at the dry area on the west side of that front. That front's lifting northeast today, so it's going to clear out some of that humidity. It will be less humid this afternoon in central Nebraska. But look at folks in eastern Nebraska. The dew points will still be very high in the eastern part of the state. So temperatures and dew points are going to combine to make nasty, nasty heat index values in eastern Nebraska. And it's going to stay that way the next couple of days. That humidity actually tries to build back west a little bit, but it'll mostly stay over the eastern third of the state through tomorrow and tomorrow night. So thankfully for us in the Tri-Cities area in central Nebraska, and I'll back this up a little bit, the dew point's not too bad, but eastern Nebraska, it's going to stay muggy. I'm going to show you it one more time. We'll start at the beginning right now. Again, humidity, the dew point's clearing up a little bit, and it won't be quite so muggy, but folks in eastern Nebraska will continue to suffer with high humidity through the next couple of days. So how does this affect our heat index? First off, our highs today. It's going to get hot, upper 90s, low to mid 100s. This is kind of the wild card area right here on the Lincoln area. It may not get above 100 if it's humid enough today, but it's going to feel even worse there in eastern Nebraska. So highs, upper 90s, low to mid 100s. But here's your feels like temperatures out there. It started off this morning. Look what happens with that high humidity in eastern Nebraska. And in my opinion, this model's probably not going high enough. Omaha, it's probably more accurate, but I could see Lincoln getting up to 115 as well today. So there's going to be a very sharp contrast. Eastern Nebraska, high heat index values, whereas it's not going to be quite so bad in central and western Nebraska just because the air is going to be a little bit drier. And it's going to stay that way tonight and then during the day tomorrow as well. The highest heat index values tomorrow, once again, eastern Nebraska, 115 or higher in some places. So it's going to be an interesting couple of days. For us in central Nebraska, we trade off the humidity, but we're going to get plenty of heat ahead of us. Tonight, still very warm temperatures in the 70s. Tomorrow, hot, 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 low to mid 100s once again. And these are your actual temperatures. Again, the high humidity, highest heat index values in eastern Nebraska. Tomorrow night, low to mid 70s, maybe some upper 70s again for overnight lows into Wednesday morning. Wednesday, more heat on the way. Highs in the low to mid 100s, some cooler 90s in western portions of Nebraska. Your extended forecast, well, again, foggy this morning, then plenty of sun for today, a breezy hot day in the Tri-Cities area, but again, less humid this afternoon than it is this morning. 70s tonight, back to the low and mid 100s tomorrow for a high, breezy but not very humid out there. 70s again tomorrow night and a Wednesday morning, back to the lower 100s with breezy conditions on Wednesday. A few more clouds around on Wednesday as well. Thursday, not as breezy, but still pretty toasty, close to 100 degrees, and then here comes a cold front Thursday night. That will bring us a slight chance of a late night shower or thunderstorm, but more importantly, we cool things back on Friday. Still upper 80s. That's not much cooler than yesterday's high. So if it's muggy enough, it's still going to be pretty unpleasant on Friday. We'll see. That is the first day of the Nebraska State Fair. Most football teams in the area kicking off their first game of the season on Friday. I know there were some games last weekend, and there may be some games this Thursday, but most area football teams are kicking off Friday night. So it's good timing that we're cooling things back on Friday. Nebraska State Fair will continue into this weekend as we'll cool back a little bit more, low and mid 80s, with some slight chances of showers and thunderstorms continuing over the weekend. It does look like we'll start to warm back up next week, though, maybe back above average by next Tuesday and Wednesday. One final thing I'm going to show you, and this is the record highs for today, those that keep records. We're going to be awfully close to tying or breaking some records around the area today and the next several days. I want to thank you all for watching on this Monday morning. I'll see you all again on Tuesday. Take care, and God bless. Bye.